Hi everyone, so this is going to be the recorded lecture for this week, and because your update 1 is due on Friday, I'm going to start from the beginning and show the entire from start to finish, and then you'll be able to see what the numbers are supposed to be. So you'll have your first 2 tabs will be all done. You're going to need to do this in your own data set. As you can see on the screen here, what we have is the, what would you call this? The Canvas site. So I've got the assignment. This is all under semester project. It's between lectures 13 and 14. And I mean, I'd gone over this last week, but still. Here's the assignment. Here's the actual data set you're going to be doing analysis on. I'll bring it up in a second. This is an intro video to the entire process, so you get an overview. This is a video I created that really gets into the mechanics of it. Not so much the understanding of it, but the mechanics of it. So watch this one, and then this one is going to take you through what I'm about to show you, but I'm going to show you what the results should be. So I'm going to use this document here. This is an Excel document that shows the mechanics and get you to understand what it means. And this one. So open this and this. All right, so I'm going to close. No, I'm not. I'm going to first bring this over. So this assistance document, I've got the macros, things we'll be working on, the functions that we use in Excel, the tricks I use, and the graphs. So the first thing we're going to do, and I didn't see it here, but talked about it last week, is what I'm going to do is copy and paste. You never mess with the master. The master tab, you got to leave that pristine. I'm going to create a new tab called descriptives. I'm going to create a unique identifier, which is just a count to use later. I didn't notice that I'm supposed to add the year column here, so I will take care of that as well. And then I'll create the total paid, and then I'll copy and paste this table and this table beneath the data set in order to figure this out. So this is what we need to calculate in the first tab, and then make sure you check your work. So I'll try to do that. All right, let's bring this over. And I'll try to zoom this in. I'm at 150%. I hope that's enough. All right, so this is the master document. I don't want to mess with the master document. So I'm going to click up in the upper left-hand corner, and when I left-click on it, it highlights everything. Control-C to copy. Open up a new tab by clicking on the, I don't know what we call this, a circle button with a cross in it, and it calls it Sheet 1. Control-V to paste. Brought everything over, and then I'm going to double click on where it says Sheet 1 and type in descriptives. This is going to be my descriptives tab. All right, so the first thing I want to do is create a unique identifier. So I'm going to left click on A. We see when the cursor goes over the A, it goes from a big white cross to like an arrow pointing down. Left click highlights it, and then I right click while I'm there, and this window opens. And I can go down to Insert, and it gave me a new row. If I want to widen the row, if I put the cursor on the line between A and B, do you see how it turns into a line? So what I do is I left click, and now I can widen it. Type UI for unique identifier. You can call it number. I'm just going to call it UI for whatever reason, and center it. By using, see, there's some things up on top here that I can't increase the size. I can change the font here. I got Arial and 10. I can make it bold, italic, underline. I can add borders to a cell. I can fill a cell with a color. I can change the color of the font, or I can increase or decrease the font size. That's font. If I click on this bottom left-hand corner, it gives me more choices. See, format cells. Change a lot of stuff. Okay, hit cancel. Next one over is alignment. So when I'm clicked on a cell or a group of cells, I can, orient it to the top, or it says align to the top, middle, or bottom, or left, middle, right. I can also push things over left or right. I can make an angle it. I can wrap text. So let me give you an example. So this one, it goes off of the page, off the screen here, past the cell. If I click wrap text, oh, I guess it was already on wrap text. I thought it was going to automatically do something. Whatever, I'll undo it. Or you can merge and center if you want to highlight a few things. And then there's numbers. So if I click on a cell and I want to change what its dynamic is, I can change it to all these different things. I'll mostly be using currency and percentage. It's on general now. And then I can move a decimal point as well. That's all I'm going to do to make things pretty. We'll get into the data later on when we do some sorting and filtering. There's also, under insert, we've got pivot tables. Insert, we also have the charts that we'll be creating. I don't think we do page layout. We don't really do formulas, though you can use that if that's what you're comfortable with. Go back to home. All right, for the unique identifiers, click on the cell that's the first one, type a 1. Just go down 1. Type a 2, type a 3. I've now established a series. So I'm going to highlight 1, 2, and 3 and put the cursor on the bottom right-hand corner and double left click the mouse. And it fills it in for me. So that's the first step. It shows here that I have 912 claims. I mean, I could have just taken the row number 913 minus 1, which is the header, and have 912, but now it's defined 912. Okay. Next thing I want to do is add years. So let's see what we have for the span. So date of injury, it goes from April 15th, and I believe these are all chronological. I had done that for you. Sometimes it is and sometimes it is. It goes all the way to September 25th of this year. That was just a few weeks ago. What I want to do is establish a year, and I'm going to call it fiscal year. So I have the first year is full. So I'm going to go fiscal year. Oh, we're already getting different fonts. I'm going to highlight everything by tapping the upper left hand. I'm going to go to Arial. And I'm going to go to 10. Stick with that for a little bit. All right, so fiscal year. So we're in 2011. So what I'm probably going to do is just say April 1st to March 30th and just call that a year. So then my first year is full. And then so my last year won't be, but that's a year that we won't be using for trending anyway because it's still green. There's a bunch of open claims, or at least I'll look into that. So I'll make this fiscal year 2011. And then what I have to do is drag it. And what I'm doing is I'm looking for March of 2012, which is right here. There we go. This goes through March. Okay. So this is going to be 2012. Again, I'm establishing years, but I'm calling it fiscal years. So I can start it and end it in the middle of a year. This is going to go all the way through 2013. Yeah, this seems like a pain, but once you do it and get it done, we've got our years set up. And you can do it by season. I mean, sometimes when I do analysis by school, I do it by semester. I'm going to do years for now and see how it goes. 2014. So 2014 begins April 1st. Looks like numbers are going up. I'm just kind of anecdotally noticing that. 2015. And again, this is arbitrary. It's an arbitrary trip around the sun. We don't have to go January 1st. We can maximize our data set by doing it this way. 2016. Sorry, I just got a little bit mixed up there. Okay. I was thinking of something else. Okay, again, it goes all the way through the 31st. 2017. I'm getting there. Just got a few more years to go. You got to be careful with this, though. If one claim is pushed to a different year, it can mix things up quick. And I'm just left-clicking and then dragging down. It's a copy and paste function is what it is. Through March 30th, 2019. I just have 2 more years to go. 2019. There. And 2020. This will go to the end, but so it goes from April until September, so it's not a full year. So we wouldn't be trending with 2020. 2020, we're going to include it when we do all our analyses, but when we're trending, 2020 we won't do. We'll see how many open claims there are. So I created fiscal year. Isn't that cool? So when we do an annual analysis, it'll be a fiscal year analysis. I have to just make that designation. Next thing we want to do is create a total paid variable. So we have paid medical, paid indemnity, paid LAE, which is other expenses. And we have reserves, total incurred. So I'm going to click on Q. I'm going to right click on Q and insert. Then I'm going to type in total paid. Go in the first cell, equal sign. Here I can either add them up or type in sum, which means add it up. Parentheses, highlight the cells I want to use, hit return, and do that same thing I did with the unique identifier. Click, click, and it fills it all in. Cool. And since they already have the open close status, we don't have to create that. We had to create that in previous. So now what I want to do is I might as well bring down the header row so I know what I'm working with. To do that, I left click on row 1, hit Control C to copy, and highlighted it for me. Isn't that nice? Go all the way to the bottom and leave at least one open row in between the data. I'm going to put 2 in, just to be careful, because if I'm going to use the data filter later on, you got to have space there. Anything that touches it will be involved with it. If you have a space, you're fine. The reason I did this, or the way I did it, is so that I can just take my paids, copy, and paste it one more down. Because I'm going to bring over the, here we go. Remember this one? So we've got the number of claims, paid, 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 to paid total. So if I already have the paid medical there, what I can do is just highlight this whole thing, copy it. See, it's all highlighted. Go back to my data, and I just have to go 1 over towards this and then paste it, and then everything's there. Yeah, and make sure that we have text wrap. And if I want to widen it, all I have to do is go up to the top line here, the right orientation, right side, if you will, of the column, and I can do it. I can extend it, shrink it, whatever. I'm going to extend this one just so you can see. So these are the equations we're going to be writing in. Oh, it went back to 100. I'm sorry. Go back to 150. I don't know why it did that. All right. So the number of claims, n is equal to 912. We figured that out when I created the unique identifier. All right. And indemnity is right above, so it's column O. Paid LE is P, total paid is Q, medical is N. So I'm going to type in equal sum, and then I got to identify the range. A range is designated by a cell, then colon, then another cell. For paid medical, it is, if I click on this cell, N2, and if I scroll all the way down, it's N913. So I'm going to type in here equal sum, parentheses, N2 colon N913. And as you can see, it highlighted what I just typed in. N2 is up here, all right, all the way down to here to N13. So it's going to add all that up for me. So I just hit return. And it already has it in dollar value. But if it didn't have it in currency, let's say it was just a general number, well, then what I can do is just go up here and change it to currency. And I don't need pennies. I never count that. And so I can use this decimal point mover to bring it down. There we go. It rounded it up for me. What's cool with Excel and the way I create my results tables is if I click on this cell and you see the cursor when it gets in the bottom right-hand corner, this is a click and paste. I just drag it over, and for every spot over I drag it, if you look up here, this is now O2 to O913. This is P2 to P13. This is Q2 to Q13. Q913, excuse me. So it brought, as you copy and paste to here, it copy and pastes to a new set of data. That's what I like. If you go up and down, it would move it up and down. We wouldn't want that though. Next one, it's going to be the subtotal, which is this, divided by the total paid. Now you may be tempted to click on here, but I think it's better just to type it in. Equal, click on the cell, divided by, and then I type in the total amount there that was just calculated, which is 6,659,243. It gives me a dollar amount, but I need it in a percent, so I'm going to go up and change that. I like 2 decimal points with percentages. I can do the same thing by dragging it. And you see, because it has 100%, because it's taking the total paid divided by the total number. All right. The average per claim by subtotal equals average then range. So equal average N2 to N913. That's the average. And I do the same thing clicking it over. Median equal median N2 to N913. I'm lucky these are coming up all dollar amounts. The number of $0 claims. So a $0 claim means a claim was filed but nothing was ever paid on it. I like to count those because when they affect the median amount, they affect the average amount. So I need to know how many there are. This is equal count if range, and then I do comma 0. Comma 0 is the count the number of zeros. Equal count if N2 to N913, comma. So it's saying in this range, count, and whatever you put after the comma, it counts. I put in 0. Counted 3 of them. Go all the way over. Okay. The next one is we're going to calculate the average when the number of $0 claims are removed. So this only takes the average of claims that had an actual amount attached to it. So I go equal the total amount paid divided by parentheses 912, which is the original N, minus the number of $0. Now I can center that, drag it over. So this should always be higher than the average, and the average is typically higher than the median, especially when you have $0 claims. The max would be the maximum amount, so equal max between N2 and N913. The max of the subtotal is equal to the cell that has the max divided by the cell that has the subtotal. That's a percent, and I can always drag these over whenever I want. And then finally, what is the percent $0 claims? It's just the number of $0 claims divided by the total, which is 912. Drag it over. That is the descriptives. These are descriptive statistics of the entire data set. This just gives us a better picture of what's here. All right, let's go back to okay, so let's do this one here. The status, count, and percent. Copy that. Might as well just put it right here. Yeah, that worked. So this is a count if, and then I got to type equals open. So equal count if, and this is column V, so it's I put N, V2 to V913. Let's see, it's all highlighted here. It just says open or closed. All right, should be more opens at the bottom than anything, but we'll find out later. Comma, and if you're going to put a phrase in, you have to put it in parentheses. So this is open. Counted it. Similar, count if V2 to V913, comma, in quotation, closed. I counted it. And I'm also going to do, have to do a total to check my work. Should be 912. Yeah, it is. Straighten those out. And the percent is simply equal to, you click on the count, divided by 912. I'll just turn it into a percent. Yep, and center it, and click it down. There we go. If I wanted to add that up, give me 1. If I turn it into a percent, it should give me 100. 100. There we go. That's all we need on this particular tab, except for some insight here. So let's consider some of the insights as far as over the time period, which is April 15th, 2011 through September 25th, am I right? 2020, how many years is that? It's, well, I think I'll get to that in a little bit. We'll get to the annual analysis. We want to kind of, we've got 912 claims here. They account for 2.7 million in claims in medical, 3.277 in indemnity. The total is 6,659,000. And then, you can see the breakdowns here. Is more indemnity paid than medical? That's somewhat unusual. Medical is usually higher. We'll have to find out why. Medians. Median's a lot less than the average, which means there must be a few really expensive claims, and most of them are lower. We'll see that later, but that's the general look. There aren't that many $0 claims in paid medical, 73. There's only 55 in the total. That's very low. It's 55 divided by 912. Sometimes I get as many as 20%. This is going to be a much, much smaller amount. The paid onlys, so, ooh, that's high. That's really high, but we'll see. I think there's just a few really expensive claims. The most expensive claim is $281,000. Wow, that's a lot of paid. There's more indemnity than there. And then it shows you percent max. I'd like to get this down when we move outliers to, it'd be nice to get it below 2. It'd be nice to get it even below 1. These don't matter as much. And the percent of $0 claims. And then you can see here, 66 claims are open. We'll see. Hopefully most of those are in 2020, 2019. Okay. Next, I'm going to copy and paste this to a new tab. Because now I'm going to do distribution. I want to see what my data looks like as far as how it's distributed. So I go to the distribution key. What is the quality of the data? Is it skewed? Does it meet normal standards? Consider and interpret the differences between percent of $0 claims, median, average, percent claims above 50,000. So what I need to do here is move the data set so that the header row is at 105. All right, let's go do that first. I'm going to click on the header row and go insert. And I got to get it to 105. So I got to hit Y 105 times. Yeah, it seems like a pain, but this is easier than teaching you to type up the key. Believe me. Or doing it by hand. All right, let's see where we are. We are at 89. All right, let's keep going. Header row to 105. Isn't that what it said? All right, so I have my header row right here at 105. Let's go back to the other. Header row to 105. Data begins at 106. Did that. Copy and paste so the total count right here is directly above total paid. So if I copy this, I have to paste it 2 over from it. So let's take this, copy, go back to our data set. Total paid is right here under Q. So under O. Under O is where I'm going to paste this. So 10 and hit Control Paste. So it populated it for me. It did it automatically. I love it. Love it. How many are above 50? 41 of them. Interesting. All right, let's do the percent of the total. I believe what we need to do is, so $0 claims we're not going to count. There's a total of 912, and I want to know how many are here, but I'm going to, yeah, let's do that. Okay, let's go equal, and then the range count divided by 912. Hoping this is the right way. It's been a while since I've done this. I'm going to turn it into a percentage first, and center it, and shrink it one more. I'm going to click and drag this because it's right along the top there. Oh, I guess it didn't, but all right. There we go. Everything here now is populated. I'm going to make sure that it does equal 100%. Just by totaling this, it should, unless there's something wrong. Uh-oh, why are you higher? What did I do? Oh, I know what I did. I know what I did. Got to delete everything down here. Just delete it. So everything's gone down here. Did that bring it? Yes. All right, everything's counted. Good. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, I brought that stuff down. Good. Now let's graph this. And let's go back to, first I'm going to turn this into distribution. I thought I did that, but distribution. We're almost done. It's kind of interesting. Let's see what else it says here. So I got to create this graph here. Create a bar graph. Oh, look at, to complete now. Okay, delete everything below. Forgot about that. It says it right here. Type under this, click blend, and put in that, hit return, double click. Okay, so I could have double clicked it. So I completed it. Now I got to create a bar graph. Do not use the $0 range. Under range count. All right. So range count, I'm going to highlight. Oh, wait, you said not to do the 0. So I'm going to start it here. Go all the way down to here. And now that it's highlighted, I go insert and then go to bar chart. Nice. Kind of want to get it up top though. See, I can kind of drag it around a little bit. I want to be able to see it enlarged. Cool. There. There's our distribution. You can see, oh, let's get this populated here. Maybe if I do select data, it'll let me do it. I want to edit the horizontal. Do it like this. Let's see if that does it. Is that better? Yep, there we go. And so this is a count. So what do we have here? We have distribution chart of claim total paid in $500 increments. Now we also know that the percent $0 claims is 6.03%, which comes out to 55. We have 55 claims that have 0. Cool. All right, now what I like to do is kind of put in the averages and stuff just to kind of show where they are. So I'm going to go back over here, and the average is 7,302. So I'm going to go insert text box. Average claim is equal to 7,302. I'm just going to copy and paste, and then I'm going to type in median claim. Got to go back and look at it. The median is $435. $435. So the median is way over here. The average, oops, something moved and it shouldn't have. Control Z and set it back. There we go. Come on. Oh. There. Got to highlight it first. All right, so I'm going to insert some arrows to show. I thought when you hit insert, oh, that's under shapes. Sorry. So 7,300 is about right about there. And I can mess with that by doing shape outline. I'm going to make it red, and I'm going to increase its weight so it's bigger. So average claim is about right there, and the median is about right here, just below 500. How about that? And then we've got these things over here. These things are going to have to be removed because they're really expensive. We may have to actually remove some of these too. Look at how many we have right here. A lot of them are low cost. A lot of them are below $5,000. Most of them. Let's find out what that is. $5,000. How much do we have? It accounts for, so 5,000 and below. Okay, bad numbers to look at, sorry. Equal to the sum of, I did the wrong thing. That's why. It was a cumulative. So is it 760? Yeah, 760, which is equal sum all the way to 5,000, 83%. 83%, over 83. 83% of the claims are $5,000 or below. But if we go back here, well, yeah, I guess the average, well, no, the average is 7,000. So if somebody goes, oh, your average claims are 7,000. Yeah, but 83% of them are under 5,000. That means there are some really expensive claims, some outliers that we're going to have to identify. In order to complete this for submission, complete this table here, or complete this chart. Be good if you started learning how to do that. But you need to be entering comments. So what you can do is just go comments, and then you can type just some interesting insights. Like I took 5, just by looking at it, it's like, oh, 5,000, how much? I mean, we could go down to 2,500 and figure how many. There's 712, or 721, excuse me, 721, and the percent from 0 to 2,500, 79%. 79% are 2,500 or below. Just some interesting insight. Almost half of them, over half, are under 500 because we got the zeros there too. So comments, I just want you to type things in. You could do that. You could insert a text box if you want to and type all you want. Look at all this cool stuff. Look what I found. Really neat. That's what you have to do on each tab. That's one of the requirements. Oh, we're at 32 minutes. So I finished everything. Make sure you save it under a different name than what you had saved before. And kind of type up what you see here. This is the total amount, this is the total number, the ranges of dates, some interesting insight as far as the average, the number of $0 claims, the max. I just want you to start getting used to having insight into what your results are. That's basically it. So I'm going to end this and post this. You can ask questions on Thursday. But I want you to have this done as much as you can so that we can start moving into update 2 after we cover a few review things about work comp on Thursday. All right. Thanks, everybody.